It ain't no way we been getting finessed like this, y'all. And China just exposed it all. So boom, Americans out here dropping 800, 1200, and even 4,000 and more on designer clothes, thinking it's all luxury.
China said, you want to go low? We'll go lower. Chinese manufacturers all over TikTok right now, I'm talking about, they came straight out the woodworks, are exposing how designer clothes are massively overpriced in the US. Showing you the entire manufacturing process as a whole. Literally warehouses that are stacked full. I'm talking about millions of Nike shoes alone. How Birkin's bags are made, Chanel, Gucci, how they're processed and manufactured. And then how much they actually cost to make, and then how much they sell for. Do keep in mind, those bags in themselves go for tens of thousands of dollars. I can tell you exactly where to go on TikTok right now, authentic by the way, to get one for under $1,000. I can tell you where to go on TikTok right now to get nice furniture for under $100 as well. I'm talking about shit that you would literally see in places like IKEA, literally the same exact product. It's funny because I've noticed all these websites being blocked on Google, but if you have a VPN or if you need to know how to use a VPN, I can tell you exactly where to go. 100% safe, I can guarantee it. My buddy literally bought 3 pairs of Nikes on TikTok Shop, literally for $5 a piece. That was a week and a half ago. They already came in. He then sold those Nikes for $50 a piece at a resale store. You know, places where they look for authenticity? They're 100% real. Same exact material, same exact product. Which proves that the real problem is nothing more than materialism. People craving a brand and acting as if they're any different than any other human around them. What you wear does not make you any better than anybody else around you. China's proving that right now. Not only that, but they are literally destroying Western propaganda. This should be a lesson for us all, especially people in America. You need to start realizing that the US does not have any level of superiority over any other nation or their people. I honestly think it's the funniest thing in the world. I mean, majority of people that are in this country need to be humbled.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
Your Chanel cosmetics, 80% are made in China and cost only $5. They just add the logo in France and charge you 10 to 40 times the price. Close your eyes. If your Chanel cosmetics says made in China, will they feel cheaper? It's not about quality, it's about brand washing. Interesting fact, who makes Chanel cosmetics, 42% are crafted by Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap goods, we do understand luxury.
I know for a fact that if my name wasn't written on the side of this bag and I wore this out and about, somebody would think that it's Celine. They would think it's Givenchy. They would think it's a French brand. Now, I have a French taste, but I ain't crazy, all right? I'm not going to have much made there because I already know how it's going to go. So I make my goods in China because I want to be able to give my consumer a more competitive price. And I know that's the place that I can do that. But it has nothing to do with being cheap. If you are a good designer, you know great quality, and you are good enough at your technical design, you can make the same thing. My bags are not made in mass manufacturing warehouses. They are made by individual artisans. One technician touches this one bag from start to finish. And you can tell because the detailing is extremely fine. And of course, it's unique and beautiful. I have gone to China 3 to 4 times a year for 10 years straight. Now I only go about once a year. But every single trip that I have ever taken, I walk away with a wealth of knowledge all the time. And the first thing that I've always noticed about the Chinese culture is that they are incredibly into details. Every small, minute thing matters. And that's perfect for me because I'm a Cancer and I love details. We need to also remember that the Chinese culture is 4,000 years old. Their dynasties go back to 1600 BCE, and some of the same skills that they had in 1600 BCE, they still utilize today. What does that tell you? That means if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They know what they're doing, and they get bad PR as constantly being told that they have things that are cheap. And yes, they do. They absolutely have a plethora of things that are cheap. But a lot of those cheap items are because of their clients. Their clients are people who want mass manufactured products. They care more about volume than they do quality control. I would say someone like Forever 21, H&M, Shein, Level Clothing, they're not using mulberry silk, they're going to use polyester. They're not using viscose, they're going to use a nylon blend, right? So they're not using the most premium quality. They're using run-of-the-mill stuff, and their objective is just to get as many out there as they possibly can. The reason why I showed this picture is this was on my first trip to China, and I remember going exploring, and I walked by and I saw all these vases and I was just blown away. It doesn't look like it from this photo, but they're about, this smaller one here is probably about 5.5 feet tall. It was almost at my eye level, and I'm 5'10". So it's very large. And every single one of these were hand painted. And I asked the guy, I said, how much? And so he writes on the calculator and he shows me that it was $10,000. Now you would think this is in China. Why is it $10,000? Because this is their trade. This is what they do. These are not made by a machine. These are handmade porcelain. Do you not realize that the best porcelain in the world comes from where? Who? China. Same thing with silk. I mean, we can go on and on about the different products that they have within their country that are often sought after, but it's really sad that people constantly forget that they are an actual legacy dynasty of people who care about details. Once upon a time, I used to design glass ornaments, and I loved it. I thought it was the most fascinating thing ever. And when I was visiting this factory, I fell in love with the artistry of glass making. It really is like nothing else. And I remember thinking to myself, we could never be America, a mass manufacturing country like this, because we don't have enough people that actually care to learn the art form. It's not just a job. You actually need to be a creative person, but I digress. So anyway, I'm in this factory and I look over and I see these master cartons stacked up to the left and they all say Dior. And I thought, like Dior? And I look over to the right and I see these little white boxes. And on the side of the white boxes, it says Christian Dior Paris. And I said, what is this? And she said, oh, Karika, that is for Christian Dior, is our client. I said, you're what? And she said, yes, we make ornaments for Christian Dior. They give them away as gifts, holiday gifts. And I was like, really? That is so interesting. Because they're going to be out here talking about we are the best, we're up here, blah, blah, blah. But then you're utilizing Chinese labor and you lie and don't tell people. I also noticed that it's a really big popular trend on websites. You will see this all the time where somebody will write imported. When it says country of origin, it says imported, or PRC, which stands for People's Republic of China. You're ashamed to say China? Did you know that the Great Wall of China is 13,171 feet long? It goes all the way from China into Russia, built by hand. It's incredible. They really are an amazing, talented, advanced culture of people. I'm always blown away with their new construction, like some of the buildings that they have that I'm just blown away. I'm like, they are living so far in advance, and everybody in America thinks that they're this shit ass place. I'm like, but you need to go over there and take a visit. Actually, some of you should stay here. That's okay. Some of you don't need to go. But if you do go, make sure that you fly business. Do not fly economy. I do not recommend. And also, if you ever go to China, do not, I repeat, do not drink Chinese Red Bull. You will be up for 3 days, but the espresso is good. The moral of the story is a lot of these luxury companies utilize Chinese labor and they just slap their name on it. And you have been conditioned to thinking that anything that says China is less than, when in reality, a lot of your luxury goods are in fact made in China. You're welcome.
You know, my favorite thing was to come out of all of the Trump tariffs? That China was like, okay, tariffs, got it. But also, all of your luxury shit, like Hermes, is made in China. And then it's shipped back so that that luxury brand can like put a tag on it. All of your shit's made in China. I'm not a luxury guy. Like, I like nice things. But I've never been one to like go out and spend thousands on something stupid. Like a handbag for clout. Because I'm a boy. Anyways, different topic. I love the fact that China chose to retaliate by dishing the tea. Like everybody that thought that they were getting these luxury brands were just products of like a huge assembly line. Like, I love it! Like, seriously, a $300,000 handbag? Are you kidding me? We're such an image-based society here in America. I'm glad that happened. I wonder what that resale value is gonna be now. Beauty's on the inside, mofos.
Girl, China said them tariffs. They are offering a 13% cash back on any purchases from American citizens. And not only that, they're going to give you 280 hours of visa-free entry into China to go shopping. No paperwork, nothing to do, no visa needed. You can just go to China and buy whatever it is you want. They said if America wants to try to keep American citizens from buying foreign goods, good luck. Because not only can you come here and buy the same shirt that you would buy in America for $40 and buy it there for $21, they also took away all prosecutions from fake brands. So they used to prosecute retailers who were making knockoff brands. They said, not anymore, honey. You can come buy all you want. They're not prosecuting any of their citizens for making knockoff brands like Nike, Versace, Gucci, none of that. And now they're going to give you 280 hours travel free to come on over there and buy whatever it is you want with a 13% instant cash rebate. I think y'all around with the wrong one, man. I can't even hold you.
So China's taking on Donald Trump's tariffs in a way that a lot of people are not yet talking about. China is exposing a lot of the most luxury brands for being manufactured in China. And basically what China is saying is that you don't need to pay $10,000 for this bag or $100 for those leggings. You can get that bag for $100, those leggings for $5 from us. And essentially what this is doing is it's going to take the power away from those billionaires running the West and giving it back to the rest of us. We can make the decision of where we spend our money. And a lot of these brands, Prada, Lululemon, Burberry, Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci, Michael Kors, Nike, all of these are just being exposed. And the fact that you can just go buy these direct from warehouse. And they're not actually as special as you think they are. This is going to have some pretty big ripple effects.
I don't want to be that guy, but how did y'all not know that these bags and all these luxury items were not worth what they said they were worth? Like, where y'all been at? I remember back well over a decade ago when I was really into fashion and I wanted to go into design, I looked to where you would get this stuff manufactured. Like, where do they have all the materials and everything I need? Where do they put it together? What's the supply chain? That led me over to China. When I was looking up different materials and items and how much shipping cost, it is cheap. And I'm talking about the highest of the high quality stuff. It is cheap. There's no such thing as a $38,000 bag. All right. There's no special Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Birkin cow that they make the leather from. Okay. Common sense, folks. There's only so much that something can cost unless they're actually putting jewels, diamonds, rubies, pearls, sapphire, unless they're using actual precious metals like gold and silver. You're just getting regular metal. You're getting glue, thread. Even the highest quality thread ain't even gonna hit 3 figures. What are we talking about, folks? So when y'all paying hundreds of dollars for t-shirts, jeans, sneakers especially, I'm sorry, anything that can be glued together, I'm not paying 3 figures for. If I can't take it to a cobbler and get it fixed, it's not worth 3 figures. But y'all are out here buying this stuff actually thinking you flexing on somebody. These rappers then completely duped everybody because they were duped first. Ever since then, everything I've ever worn has been because I liked it, it looks good, it fits well, and it fits my budget. Because there's no such thing as a pair of jeans being worth over $50. There's no such thing as a t-shirt being worth over $20. And at best, sneakers, I might give you 80. I might. Depending on if I really, really like them, I might. But to be honest, I'm glad China is exposing everybody because this is long overdue, because everything is too high priced over here in the United States and they need to knock these prices down. I'm all for it. Keep exposing everybody.